long before the days marked by hours and clocks, before the skies were streaked by familiar stars, or cities whispered with the promise of rest. There was only the vast, tender darkness of night. This darkness, when it began, was not harsh or empty, but deep and soft, like the quiet exhale of the world at sleep's gentle edge. The great expanse stretched boundless and calm, a cradle of silence where whispers of the ancient earth waited with patient stillness. In this silence, the hidden rhythms of coming day stirred slowly, gently weaving threads of light and shadow in a dance as old as eternity. In the vastness above the sleeping sands of Egypt, where the land met the endless sky, there stirred a presence as humble as it was powerful. This was Khepri, the tender scarab beetle, whose form gleamed with the burnished sheen of polished lapis lazuli and deep carnelian reds. His shell reflected the first hints of dawn before they appeared, a living jewel rolling steadily across the sky's stretching canvas. Khepri's movements were measured and serene, possessed of a quiet grace that seemed to hold the very breath of the waking world. Before the sun could rise, before the world touched by light could stir, Khepri prepared. In the cool, shadowed hollows of the earth, beneath the whisper-soft sands, he gathered strength. His many legs, small yet strong, worked with an unhurried rhythm that matched the pulse of life beneath the desert's protective layer. Here, hidden from view, each tiny segment of his body shimmered with an inner light, as if he carried a delicate fire within him, one meant to be kindled and released into the sky itself. The great sky was a dark ocean in which Khepri rolled the sun, that vast fiery orb that would start its journey anew. Unlike the blazing sun we know in the daylight hours, in the beginning, this sun was a radiant sphere held gently and purposefully beneath Khepri's steadfast legs. It was the promise of day, a glowing heart of warmth dreamed of in the cool embrace of night. Around it, stars twinkled like distant jewels, their faint light weaving a quiet tapestry of time and memory. The world below, cradled by the Nile's winding grace, lay in stillness, bathed in the soft silks of moonlight and shadow. Palm trees, tall and silent, swayed slowly as the breeze whispered secrets among their leaves. The sands themselves seemed to breathe softly, cushioned by the tender touch of dawn's first breath. Here and there, the silhouettes of ancient temples, their stones smoothed by endless years, held the dreams of forgotten gods and weaving tales of creation and rebirth. Khepri's task was ancient and sacred, With every roll of his sturdy legs, he would carry the sun from the dark embrace of night towards the horizon's gentle edge, where the earth met sky in a tender union of light and color. This journey was not swift or hurried, because the passing of night into day was a sacred passage. It was a moment woven with care and reverence, where the world could open its eyes slowly, wrapped in the lingering mystery of sleep and awakening. The scarab, whose name means to come into being, was more than a creature. He was a symbol of transformation, the eternal cycle of death and rebirth. His image was etched into the hearts of those who lived by the river, loved by the silent stars and the whispered prayers of dawn. As Khepri rolled the sun forward, he was giving life itself a gentle push, a reminder that each day could be born anew, with softness and strength intertwined. In the quiet moments before the horizon blushed with rising light, Khepri's world was one of stillness and preparation, wrapped in the tender hush that cradles the world before wakefulness. His shining form trailed a delicate scent of warm earth and morning dew, a promise carried softly on the breeze that stirred the palm fronds and ruffled the hair of watching children still nestled in sleep's embrace. In this sacred waiting, the beetle's journey was guided by gentle stars, ancient and enduring. They hummed soft songs of guidance, whispered legends of the sun's passage, and sang lullabies of light's return. The sky's blanket was thick with promise. The twilight slowly folded away as Khepri's movement coaxed the dawn nearer, each rotation of the sun a verse in the quiet hymn of creation. This calm world, poised delicately between shadow and shining, was alive with quiet expectancy. Creatures curled into rest stirred softly. The river's song slowed to a hush that balanced perfectly with the turning of Khepri's bright orb. There was an unspoken magic woven into the air, spun from the threads of light and darkness, of endings that are beginnings, and beginnings that hold endless hope. And so, with infinite care and patience, Khepri began his sacred task once more, rolling the morning sun forward toward the waking world, guiding the night gently into day. The timeless journey stretched before him like a soft ribbon of gold and shadow, a slow and steady song that would cradle the world's renewal. The very air seemed to embody a peaceful breath, a shared moment between earth and sky, between rest and awakening. In this moment, where the quiet strength of Khepri met the tender promise of dawn, the world was gently held, wrapped in the soft embrace of becoming, just as the first light began to soften the edges of night's deep silence. The night air whispered softly around Khepri as the first faint glimmer of dawn stirred on the horizon, a delicate promise of light weaving through the cool desert silence. Slowly, the vast sky began to shift from velvety black to a gradual deepening of indigo, the stars winking their ancient lullabies to the sleeping world below. Amidst this quiet transformation, Khepri, the scarab god, stirred with the grace of centuries, his shell gleaming dark but majestic against the soft hue of early morning. He was no ordinary beetle, but a sacred being whose purpose pulsed with the rhythm of life itself. Beneath the stillness, the air held an invisible golden thread of warmth. The sun's heart, resting, waiting to be born anew. With a gentle determination, Khepri moved forward, his many legs treading softly upon the sand, leaving delicate patterns that would soon be erased by the desert breeze. His large eyes reflected the faint pre-dawn glow as he approached the colossal orb of the sun, which lay quietly low against the eastern edge of the earth. To the casual observer, the sun might have seemed a distant, untouchable force, but for Khepri, it was a sacred burden and a gift intertwined, the very essence of creation encased in blazing light. Holding it steady beneath his front legs, Khepri began the sacred rite, the slow, purposeful act of rolling the sun upwards toward the waking sky. Each movement was measured, infused with the weight of all that dawn represented. It was a ritual older than memory, older even than the tallest dunes that shaped the horizon. As Khepri cradled the sun, he felt the pulse of life flowing through the orb, a warm, steady heartbeat that resonated with the stones beneath his feet and the heavens above. The desert around him seemed to lean in, hushed and attentive, as if the very air was holding its breath, awaiting the birth of day. The palms swayed gently, their leaves catching the earliest glimmers of light, whispering tales of hope and renewal carried from season to season. The journey was not one of haste, but of reverence and profound purpose. Each inch the sun was rolled forward was a gift wrapped in patience, promising life and light to the sleeping lands and dreams beneath. The night's shadows stretched long and thin, slowly retracting, caressed away by the sun's inevitable rise. Khepri's efforts were tireless, yet calm, as though he were coaxing the day forth with the softest of lullabies, comforting the world into awakening. With every turn of his delicate limbs, the sky's colors deepened and changed. a spectrum of midnight blues melting seamlessly into fiery oranges and soft pinks, the very fabric of night weaving into morning's embrace. Khepri was not alone in this sacred labor. Around him, the world gently stirred as ancient creatures awoke with the promise of sunlight. The silent fox padded softly across the dunes, the hoot of a distant owl fading into the crescendo of morning call from unseen birds. The cool, fragrant air carried the salty breath of the distant sea, and the crispness of sand warmed by unseen fires beneath the earth. As the orb moved higher, the sun itself seemed to hum with growing strength, its light weaving golden threads that kissed the mountain peaks and spilled softly into the valleys. The land exhaled slowly, wrapped now in the comforting arms of awakening warmth. In the depths of Khepri's being, a serene joy blossomed, not just the satisfaction of duty fulfilled, but a deep, unspoken connection to all things living and breathing. He was both guardian and guide to the dawn, a bridge between the realms of darkness and light. His shell caught the fledgling sunbeams, radiating a quiet power, an ancient truth whispered over millennia, that though night must fall, day will always return, bringing with it light, hope, and renewal. As the sun climbed ever higher, Khepri's pace steadied, his journey still long, but blessed with the certainty that the world would soon be bathed in the golden glow of morning. And so, the vast, endless desert awaited its renewal, cradled in the tender hands of the scarab god. Khepri rolled on slowly, gracefully, carrying all that life relied upon. The promise that after darkness, light will always bloom again, and the sun's fiery heart, once again, would dance across the sky. As Khepri's steady journey continues, the sun, cradled softly upon his mighty back, begins to rise ever higher, casting gentle rays of warmth and pale gold across the vast desert sands. The world stirs beneath this slow awakening, each grain of sand shimmering faintly as if sprinkled with tiny stars, and the distant outlines of palm trees deepen in the fresh morning hues. There is a serene rhythm to this sacred motion, a quiet rhythm born from time itself, ancient and steady, as certain as the tides of the great Nile and the turning of the heavens above. The very air hums with a tender energy, a silent promise of new beginnings whispered between the palms and carried on a cool breeze. Slowly, Khepri moves, unhurried and wise, understanding deeply the role he carries out. This sacred labor is not a burden, but a blessing, a tender dance between night and day, between shadow and light. As he rolls the glowing orb farther, the world follows, wrapped still in the soft embrace of dawn's early light, where everything feels possible and yet gently hushed, as if leaning into a quieter moment before the fullness of day takes hold. The desert's heart beats with the sun's journey, and life, just waking, stretches slowly toward the warmth. Birds begin their first songs of the morning, soft and delicate like a lullaby, drifting through the cooling air, celebrating quietly the arrival of light. With this sacred motion comes a sense of balance, a harmony that never wavers. Khepri, the scarab god, symbolizes not only the rising sun, but also the eternal cycle of renewal. Each day a fresh chance to grow, to awaken, to begin again. His toil is gentle and sure. No rush disturbs this delicate balance. Instead, there is a solemn grace, a patience that invites the world to breathe with him, to witness the unfolding canvas of dawn's colors. From the softest blush pinks to the richest shades of amber, melting into the blue of the waking sky. This slow unveiling is a quiet miracle, unmarked by noise, yet deeply felt beneath the surface of stillness. The sun climbs steadily, its light spilling further across the vast land, filling valleys and hills, waking every plant and creature in a loving embrace. Each blade of grass, each petal, each glistening drop of dew sings silently of this divine touch. Khepri's wheels turn smoothly. His presence is steady and calming. There is no hurry to reach the full brightness of day, for the journey itself is sacred. Every moment, every slow movement is woven with the threads of ancient magic, spun across centuries and touched by countless generations who knew the quiet power of the scarab's rising sun. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos, reflected in the smallest detail. The gentle flutter of a wing, the whisper of a breeze, the slow curling of a leaf in morning light. As the sun settles more fully into the sky, Khepri begins to prepare for the next part of his eternal task. His strength will carry the sun safely through the hours ahead. But for now, he honors this fragile moment on the threshold of day, a moment that holds the promise of peace and rest for those yet to stir. Even as the world beckons to awaken, there is a blessing here in the stillness, in the warmth of the new light, soft and welcoming, like the tender touch of a parent's hand. This morning, like every morning, is a treasure, an opportunity to begin again with calm and grace. The sky overhead deepens into a gentle blue, flecked now with the faintest wisps of clouds, like cotton stretching softly across the vast expanse. Beneath it, the world turns slowly toward the promises of the sun's full light, but with a quiet respect for the gentleness of beginnings. Khepri's journey, though ancient, feels as new as the first breath of day. It invites a moment of reflection, a pause to understand that every sunrise carries within it the hope of transformation, the gentle reminder that light returns even after the darkest night. As you listen now, with eyes growing heavy and breathing soft and slow, imagine yourself in this calm, peaceful desert landscape. Feel the soft warmth of the morning sun brushing your skin, light as a whisper. Hear the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze, the quiet calls of waking birds far off in the distance. Let your body sink gently into this moment of stillness, carried by the steady rhythm of Khepri's sacred task, the slow rolling of the sun across the sky, unfolding with quiet assurance and endless grace. Feel how the calm spreads softly everywhere, the sand beneath you, the cool air around you, inviting sleep to come without worry or haste. You are wrapped now in the same peaceful energy that cradles the world each dawn. The sacred rise of the sun is a tender lullaby sung by ancient gods, a song of rest that travels through time, whispering, "All is well, all is peaceful. It is time to surrender to sleep." Let yourself drift gently now, carried like the morning light itself, slow and sure, steady and soft. Know that just as Khepri will carry the sun safely into the day, you too will carry the quiet strength of this moment with you into your dreams. With every breath, feel yourself settling deeper and deeper into comfort as the world around you sinks into calm and the promise of renewal wraps you warmly. Rest now as the scarab god completes his sacred journey and the morning sun rises fully to bless the earth. Sleep deeply and peacefully, held in this ancient calm, in the light that follows every night, steady and sure, eternal and gentle. Let the stillness grow within you and allow your thoughts to soften and fade as you float away on the wings of dawn's quiet song. Good night, and may your sleep be soft and full of light.